Good morning. Welcome to Hindu Newspaper Analysis, 7th November 2022. First article talks about an electoral pivot that restores Brazil democracy. A lead article, and this article explains about how the return of Lula da Silva signals the restoration of leftist rule and defeat over the conservative party rule. This article doesn't give much information with respect to civil service examination. However, for political science students can recall their subjects like liberalism and conservatism topics. However, for UPSC civil service examination point of view, we can compare the electoral process of Brazil with our Indian system. In Brazil, they will follow compulsory voting and they do follow EVMs with biometric voter identification, which is right now one of the important debate with respect to electoral reforms in India. Further interestingly, Brazil will conduct elections for every 4 years on first Sunday of October. If the result is not beyond the 50%, if the candidate is not able to get the 50% of voting, definitely they will conduct the re-election on October 30th. These are the major differences, and last but not least is the result of the elections will be declared on the same day itself. So these are some of the electoral differences between Brazil and India. Further, yesterday we got results of some of the bypolls. In Maharashtra, there is an interesting that Nota got the second spot in the elections. We are all well aware that Nota, none of the above, was a signal for a right to reject. And in 2009 in Chhattisgarh elections, Nota was implemented for the first time. Later, Supreme Court in People's Union Civil Liberties versus Union of India case in 2013 recommended Nota. And here Supreme Court observed that Nota indicating people of high moral, ethical values are chosen as people of representative for proper, genuine governance of the country. In such a manner, only peoples of high values and high morals should be represented in the electoral process. However, Supreme Court provided that right to reject is one of the integral part of the democratic elections. However, peoples will say, some constitutional experts will say, this is not a new thing. Even Code of Electoral Rules 1961 spoke about negative voting. Rule number 49 clause 0 talks about 17A form. Form number 17A talks about negative voting, in which voter, whoever opting for the negative vote, has to sign it before the officer. However, Supreme Court scrapped this rule because it is violating the rule of right to secrecy. Nota was very much successful in countries like France, Belgium, and even some states of USA like Texas. Even Texas implemented from 1975 onwards. And this is basic information about Nota. Next polity article discuss about BJP promise uniform civil code in Himachal Pradesh. Even the discussion is going in Uttarakhand also. We need to remember that Uttarakhand appointed a committee called as Ranjan Prakash Desai Committee to check the implementation of UCC, and they are taking consultations from the people. Even if you are listening the last few days articles, even we got the same article couple of days back also. We all well aware that Uniform Civil Code is a directive principle of state policies in which it suggests that UCC should replace all the personal laws based on the scriptures and customs. However, we need to follow certain things here very carefully. UCC will severely impact the religious doctrines in India. We have to follow piecemeal approach as per the Law Commission recommendations. So we will wait and watch for the next developments. However, we will take a separate class session on this UCC also. Next article talks about a data point, helicopter accidents in October point to border concerns. This article comes under Border Management in General Studies Paper 3 of Civil Service Examination. According to DGCA reports, From 1999 to 2019, around 150 people lost their lives in border helicopter crashes. And what is interesting is 40% of these crashes because of pilot errors. We need to recheck our licensing proposals and licensing methods to correct this pilot mistakes, errors of pilots. Later, 19% of harsh climate and 9% of cable hits. These two representing lack of Indian technological advancement in predicting the climatic conditions and also predicting the hurdles, or you can say hills or mountains in the path. So we need to enhance our technology here, and we can take assistance from countries like Russia, or you can take assistance from Quad countries from USA to improve these aspects. Quite important in answer writing point of view. Instead of writing only for internal security, border management from the point of lasers, we can also add these points for value addition to our notes. Continuation with internal security. Online gaming fraud ED pursuing China link. You can understand that now China interfering into our lot of the cyberspace. You can also recall 2019 or 2020 we have the issue of shutdowning Maharashtra Dharma power plants by Chinese hackers. Okay, there is a group called as the Red Echo groups. They shut down the electricity. Now they are even interfering into online games. Concerns with our internal security, you can write these points as a value addition. Then, international relations point of view, we got the article talks about Myanmar and its democratic process. Rajiv Bhatia is one of the famous international relations expert and who will write regularly about IR issues. And he wrote an article regarding Myanmar. Not very much important, but however, in writing questions like neighborhood first, or in writing questions like India's regional leadership. So on these aspects, we can use these statements. Right now, Myanmar is in military rule by Tatmadaw. Tatmadaw is the name of the military. And right now, Tatmadaw is controlling the governance by overcoming the democratic government by a coup. Now, countries divided over the Tatmadaw rule because ASEAN countries from Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore demanding democracy, whereas Thailand and Laos supporting Myanmar. Two regional powers, China particularly having good relations with Myanmar. It can be evident from the recent launch of China-Myanmar Economic Corridor, which gave access to China to enter into Bay of Bengal region from the port Kipkyu. And then from Indian point of view, India maintaining a balanced approach because in the previous years when we have bad relations with Myanmar military, we do found several insurgency groups getting assistance from Myanmar military itself. So India maintaining a balancing approach. So we need to wait and watch for the next developments. Continuation with our recent science and tech innovations. Last week we got an article regarding Cordy gold nanoparticles, Cordyceps militrices. Now that was a gold mushrooms which can increase the faster drug delivery. Now we are having one more science and tech article talks about microphysiological systems which can be a new frontier for the drug discovery field. This article highlights that stem cell technology where they can manipulate the genome and alter the cell properties, where they can check the models of drug efficiency and performance. This article also reminds us the previous article, just revise them. Next, environment articles. Indian black honeybee is a western god discovery. This article talks about new species which is endemic to western ghats is discovered in the name of Apis caringo Indian, the name which was common name of Indian black honeybee. The name is important for our examination point of view because in 2015 also we do have this kind of names which is asked in UPSC prelims. So the name is important, Apis caringo Indian, which is a honeybee. And this honeybee is predominantly located in Western Ghats. Even last week also we got news about Nilagiri Biosphere and a tiger reserve in that. So find out the Nilagiri Biosphere and revise the national parks in that. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.